Patrick Show.
Know what you're listening to? Next question. It's Dan Patrick on Demand. Thank you. The following was recorded at a Burger King drive-thru at breakfast.
Morning, welcome to Burger King.
Can I get a bacon, egg, and cheese for sandwich? Yeah, me too. I'll have a croissant.
So one says croissant and one says croissant.
Yeah.
Don't you guys know it's croissant? And they're just 2 for $4.
Okay, weirdo. Can we drive up now?
Piled high with thick-cut bacon or savory sausage, fluffy eggs, and melted cheese. Get 2 croissant breakfast sandwiches for just $4. Only at Burger King. Limited time only. Price and participation vary. Here he is, joined by the Danettes.
Aren't you an Emmy award-winning journalist?
It's Dan Patrick. Hour 2 on this Wednesday. Welcome to the program, already in progress. Maurice Jones-Drew of the NFL Network will stop by. A few things to talk to him about. Sports Jeopardy in an hour. Chance to be a Danette for a day. I think that's a good thing, to be a Danette for a day. I don't know if you get to pick your role, if you want to be Paulie or Seton or McLovin or Fritzy here. Maybe you could shadow one of the 4 Danettes. Who would be the Danette you would want to shadow during the show? Who would be the most interesting man? How about after the show or during the show?
Ooh.
Which Danette would be the best person to shadow? Yeah, Paul.
I am shockingly most curious about Fritzy's post-work lifestyle. I think I have a good grasp of it, but if you were...
So does he.
Here we go.
Nice job by you. I would like to have a camera on Fritzy for the 12 hours after he leaves the building.
I'd rather not know.
Want to keep it mysterious.
Yes.
Protect the innocent.
Yeah. It's like I don't want to know what the listeners look like. I'd rather just imagine what they look like. I'd rather just imagine what goes on in your life.
Probably the safe way to go.
Yes. McLovin to me would be interesting when he leaves the show. Watching you as a parent of 2 little ones, that'd be fun.
Yeah, you should see me drive, too. That's always an
No, I've been in the car with you.
Well, I think that might be interesting.
Oh
It's
my
sort of
God.
like...
Well, it's death-defying.
Yeah, exactly.
You're one of the worst drivers ever. I would rather drive with my youngest daughter than I would with you. I'd rather drive with my mother-in-law than with you. That's how bad you are.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tell you, the GPS said turn left there, and
You went over a median.
I know.
There was the divider, and you went over it like a
And you were
curb.
you were 3 days away from handing out the Super Bowl trophy, and for some reason I was driving you around Tampa Bay.
Oh my God.
And remember, I took you to the dog park instead of the stadium at one point.
Yeah. I said, McLovin, this isn't the stadium. Oh, well, there's stands here. I said, it's a dog park.
Good times.
Yeah, great times. All right, we'll get to your phone calls here. 877-3DP-SHOW, email address dp@danpatrick.com. You can watch if you'd like. DirecTV's Audience Network, Channel 239, and the NBC Sports Network. The Rick Pitino topic, we're trying to sort through it. You know, it's a salacious story, and Outside the Lines did a great job in bringing a little bit more of this to the surface, because it can be a local story, and then when national grabs it, it becomes a national story. You have a former assistant and supplying prostitutes. Who was paying the money? How did he come up with the money? It was going on in the dorm room for 4 years. And then he left the school, so then the program, I guess, was shut down after that because he was the program. Rick Pitino said, hey, this guy's got to do the talking here because he didn't know what was going on. I guess you can look at it this way. If Rick Pitino did know something was going on, then he's culpable, obviously. What if he didn't know, but then you look at the head coach not knowing something of this magnitude going on in a basketball-only dorm? You have a problem with that as well. Like either way, Rick Pitino, if he didn't know or he did know, if I'm the athletic director, do I say, how do you not know? Or you did know and then you look the other way? You sort of knew? Just a lot of questions there. But I don't think he should be fired. At least not yet. I'd like to know the magnitude of this. How deep does it go? And if it turns out that Rick is lying, then he should be fired. But house money. Like, Jim Boeheim, if Jim Boeheim wasn't going to retire, I don't think he would have been fired at Syracuse, even though, you had, this was systematic what was going on. This had been going on, academic fraud at Syracuse for a while. Joe Paterno got fired late in his career with what happened at Penn State. What did he know? What did he, did he choose not to, do anything? There were a lot of questions involved in it, the role that the coach plays. But you have to have more control over a basketball team. I expect you, because there's only 15 players. And you have spies that work for you on your staff that keep an eye on what's going on. Were these kids minors? Were they under 18, the recruits? And you have prostitution that's going on. And you don't know something for 4 years? I have a problem with that as well, if I'm the athletic director. Like, Rick, this is your dorm. You wanted this dorm. You built a basketball dorm. You got to know what's going on in there, don't you? Parties? Brad in Florida. Hey, Brad, welcome to the program.
Top of the morning, Mr. Patrick. How's it going?
Hey, bud.
Hey, well, I swam in college, and we had over 30 swimmers on our team. So, and my coach, Coach Steve, actually came to my wedding. I still talk to him 10 years later, and he tells me everything that happened to the other swimmers from that time. I mean, there's no way that he did not know about this. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm also curious, thank you, Brad, that do you talk to this assistant coach about the recruits you got and you didn't get? I have to believe there's a slush fund to entertain the recruits. But what exactly are you spending the money on with recruits? You bring them on campus. Normally they'll go to a party on campus. They'll hang out with somebody on the basketball team. Maybe you take them out to dinner. But if I'm looking at the expenses and I say, wait, we're spending $20,000. Hey, how are we spending $20,000 here? Just going to dinner. And a lot of those places you go to will comp the dinner. And it could be Patino's restaurant that they're going to. Yes,
But aren't you really, I mean, you're not really just like, hey, so like a normal student comes in and gets a tour of the campus. I mean, aren't they they're really like rolling out a red carpet for all these kids, right?
But what are you doing with that red carpet? I mean, we're not talking limos. I mean, a lot of this stuff is already supplied with the university, I would think. You're going to be flown in, and then you'll get a ride from the airport. You'll take a tour with one of the players, the coach. You'll meet with Coach Pitino. Here's our basketball building here. Here's all the great things. Look at what we have. Here's your dorm over here. This is where you eat. Hey, you guys are going to go to a party, and then there'll be a game tomorrow night. Whatever. That's kind of what happens on a recruiting trip. So I don't know if you're saying, Maria Menounos is there on the red carpet to interview you as you get off the private plane here.
But they don't do anything special for these kids, other than like, so here's our building. Like, they don't do anything more than that?
I don't think so.
Like, when you go into a record company, and you're in a band, your music is always playing while you're in there, and your records are on the wall. Like, those are like little things, and then when the next band comes in, they change it again, and we'll do that.
Yeah. Well, you might get your name up on the football stadium. Unlike the Louisville Cardinals welcome Jimmy Lipper from Nashville, Tennessee. They might do something. You may go into the basketball arena and your name is already up there, or they may have a jersey made up for you. But I don't think you're running up expenses. And how many recruits are you bringing in? I mean, all of a sudden you're running up $20,000? That's where I might take notice. And it came out of this assistant coach's pocket? That's the interesting thing. How did he get this money? Yes, Paul.
Wouldn't you also want to know how this assistant coach left the program? Was he fired? Was he asked to leave? Did he quit at his own volition? If he was fired, I would love to know the reasons. If he wasn't, if he left by his own choice. The other thing, don't you find it hard to believe that Rick Pitino would find out about this and say, you know what, thumbs up, keep this program going? I just find that hard to believe a guy that would risk his legacy for that, if he knew the details. Remember we always say how about general awareness?
People risk their legacies for a lot less than this. You'd say, why would I risk my marriage for this? Why would I risk my job for this? Why would you risk my life for this? People do this every single day. It's not just Rick Pitino. You might say, why would he risk his marriage? with what happened in the restaurant. It happened.